maps easy, but whatever. They no, look, the reality is ViCi, for me, they had leftover Inferno and Overpass to choose from in the third map. They know both of these maps. They've played against TYLOO multiple times on each one, and I think that they've obviously got some sort of a read on them. They might have an idea on how they want to approach the final map, and hopefully that'll take them across the line. Mirage should be going over to TYLOO. This start, though, very good for ViCi in the pistol round until Alman gets a little bit aggressive. And I think he's saying, oh, man.
Oh, it's an awkward fight. Attacker's going to win it, and this has quickly dwindled away from a very positive situation for ViCi into a nigh on even one. Dan King still looking to try and re-aggress, and not going to be able to do anything this time. The bomb is going down. A reposition from Attacker as well, who's managed to retrieve himself a smoke. Dan King, though, repeaks without any opportunity for a trade. Classic Dan King, of course. And now it's left onto Attacker, trying to isolate the jewels, but he's not going to be able to. Of course, though, TYLOO getting a bomb plant probably means we have a force coming, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves. And the one thing I will say, like, I always like talking about, like, yeah, the teams picked this map for this reason. Maybe they've adapted in this way. ViCi have tried to adapt the last 13 series that they've lost to TYLOO. Like, they've tried playing Inferno a load of times. They tried playing Overpass a load of times. They always lose. Like, that's unfortunate. Like, I would love to be the guy that got to witness the ViCi victory. I think we've all definitely had them as one of our favorite teams within this tournament, a team we actually really enjoy watching. The problem is that in this case, TYLOO are the big bad boss, and the big bad boss normally wins.
Let me tell you about Inferno, Tom. They played them, ESL1 Cologne, they lost 16-2. Then they play them a month later, 16-14. Then the next time, 19-17. Come on, they're on their way. They gotta do it eventually. But then they allow Overpass through, and that's where I start.
You've picked 2 results out of 13 in a row. Like, you can go back and forth all the way through. Like, if you and me start scrolling back, we can do that as well. 19-7. Oh, look, 16-14s. Time before that, 16-2. Then they got a 16-14. Oh, wow, that's impressive. And then the next time they got 16-2'd. There's no logic to this. Stop trying to rationalize it. That's a stupid way to go about it. It's random. It's completely random. You know this of anything. If you start trying to make correlation out of statistics where there is no correlation, then you might as well just be, well, just having a random stab in the dark.
It's funny. Like, I genuinely pity the bet makers for these tournaments who have to try and, like, okay, so what's the odds that this team wins? Like, I don't know. There are none. Like, one of the teams will win. That's all we can be sure of. You know, all the mathematical formulas in the world couldn't help you. But as you look into TYLOO, they didn't need to go for that force play, Tom, while we were just messing around and chittity chatting. And it looks like TYLOO, well, they're getting splittity splatting all over the floor, getting slapped out of this one. I bet Dan King's not too happy about that, as ViCi, oh, they're giving them a taste of their own medicine. Jumping out in the side here, though. That was a brave play by somebody.
10 seconds.
Up behind. He's going to look to do the damage. He won't even get a kill for it. USP was there to take him down, and either way, he would have had to get the bomb plant, which I don't think he had time to do.
No, absolutely not. So, 2-0. ViCi at least getting off to a strong-ish start, I guess you could say. They got the rounds at least. If anything, though, this is the thing that's irritating. Is that they won that round against the Force Spy, but this is the half investment that TYLOO also sometimes win. It's like there is no round they can't lose. So it's like there's no point really mentioning too much about rounds anymore. Attacker he just runs in. He's just gone. Yeah, started up the engine, didn't have the brakes on, and just started rolling his way down the hill. Summer still here with a deagle of his own. He has the bomb.
Well, I failed to see the point in that strategy. What? Why?
I honestly, at this point, I love the team. Just because the sheer gall of some of the players. Like, why are you now going into the B side? Like, what's the point? Like, genuinely, what's the point? What, you're going to go through B, kill all the players, and then run back through to A from there? Is that the plan? Is that the plan, TYLOO? Because I don't understand. But you know what? I guess at this point it's all about damage.
I was
God.
I was at one
love
point
this team.
contemplating a degree in psychology, and I really wish I went into that so I could understand what the
You would
hell
have.
these guys are attempting to do.
I think you would genuinely need to be. I think the #1 psychologist in the world would put a gun in their mouth after looking at this team play. Like it's one of those things where it's just like you gotta sort of just after a while just consider that it's random.
I think
I genuinely feel sorry for their coach sometimes.
it's probably not a psychologist you need. It's a psychic. You need somebody to come in. It's like
I have a palm reading that they will push one of the sides. Oh, you're spawned. That's fantastic.
Is anyone out there called Mary? Mary, I'm sensing a Mary. She says it's B. But the bomb is A. It's like,
You shall meet a king. No, please. Not again.
they shall. Oh, God.
Oh.
That was a little bit dangerous. There's a nade in hand. Oh, Dan King. He's managed to get up behind them. They've pushed out the smoke. He doesn't know there's someone behind him. He has no idea. Zoki, what? They're back to back. They've just brushed past each other. Oh, there we go. He spotted him. And Dan King, well, he's just been completely blindsided on that one. Well, that was unfortunate.
Yeah, they still manage to always seem that this is one thing TYLOO do very well. While there's madness going on one side of the map, somebody else is doing something equally mad on the other side. But in the sense that they actually gain space for each other almost unknowingly. Either that or there's some sort of sentient like machine that as one falls the other reacts in turn that gains them space. But they lost a player in mid there and that was looking like a silly play. In the meantime, 3 players managed to sneak their way onto the A site and get an after plant position with the CT seemingly not even knowing what happened. And now they're probably going to win this round. It's a 3v2. Somebody's just found a kill elsewhere as he now wraps around into mid. I want to point out the bomb's not planted in the best position, but if he doesn't allow them to get to the site, it really doesn't matter. And this is sort of what I'm talking about. Like, oh my god.
Tom,
I can't believe after yesterday they still push through the murder hole like it's absolutely nothing. Like they literally lost a 1 versus 5 yesterday doing that, and somebody today is just like, oh, I gotta kill him. I'll see you in a bit. I'm gonna go through the murder hole.
I reckon sometimes in some of these rounds, at least, I could turn my monitor off and still have just as much a clue what is going through these players' heads, and that's the really fun thing. It's never predictable. Put it that way. It's repetitively, it's consistently inconsistent in terms of what happens round to round. And that's why I love it. In quotation marks. So for ViCi 3-1, it's disappointing losing the previous round, but TYLOO, well, they're not in the best of spots. Not yet. Not yet. But we know TYLOO. This is their map. This is where they feel comfortable. They're leaving the bomb towards T-spawn and taking a nice slow approach. Season map control. And you can see they've definitely pumped the brakes at this point. I think just waiting for ViCi to get that little bit aggressive off what they saw in the previous round, where obviously even with smokes down on middle, Zoking rushed down connector and pushed to top mid. So they're hoping something like that comes through this time. But with no pressure being applied, there's no need for... No, well, I would be lying if I said that. Dinko is not working right now, so I'm sure there's pleasure being applied over there as he's having a lovely time.
Okay.
Having a bath, probably.
It seems like Zoking's also continuing the form on from earlier. A double peek into mid, he wins both duels, and they can really do the damage onto the economy of TYLOO if they win this round. Somebody caught off in a bit of an awkward spot. Nice shot from Danking, but it's only one. And Summer is very, very far behind. He was looking to try and catch off rotations, but in a 3-on-5, I'm not really sure that was the right call. 15 seconds. He's just going to save his AK. And there, ViCi, great job to bounce back. Zoking with a sort of a very aggressive round peeking into the window, but it works. And I guess against TYLOO, that's kind of how we have to look at things. Like if ViCi are able to make these sort of plays and get away with them, wow, they're laughing.
I think it is quite funny at the same time, though, how TYLOO spend, what, a minute 20 waiting for some aggression, and as soon as they're not really ready for it anymore, ViCi get aggressive. It's in one of those situations, just the timing is so terrible. But for Zoking, it's funny as well, you say he's continuing on the form from earlier.
In map 3.
Excuse me. There were two different forms earlier on, right? There was a half 1 and half 2 Zoking, and one was great, and the other was on the exact opposite end of the spectrum.
It was more random than that. Like, because map... By the way, let's wait a minute. Zoking. Oh, here we go again. Alongside Advent as well. Maybe the unusual suspects brought in for this round. It is an investment as well, by the way. Tanking the only one saving some cash for the AWP, and everybody else getting slaughtered. Now, Attacker's had some crazy rounds, but it's not going to be one this time. But yeah, so it's like, in the first map, he was really bad in the first half, great in the second. In the second map, he was bad in both. And then in the third map, he was good in both. So I think there is no logic to where Zoking actually plays well. I think it's just purely based off confidence. And sometimes, like, if he has a poor CT half and he goes into the T side, he'll just bring himself back because he knows his role within the team. He does his job. I think it's if he has a poor T side and then goes onto the CT side, that's where it's very scary. Now, if he has a good CT side, well, who knows? Maybe he'll go onto that T side and just bring home a Mirage win, which would be huge. Because we know that going into train, that's where ViCi have a big advantage.
Yeah. That's definitely their opportunity to take it across the line. I do love there, actually, the decision-making from Advent. He pushed forward, he realized it was a 4v2 after his kill, and he just fell right on back. And that is something that I am honestly sad that I need to compliment, but in this region, you definitely do. So fair play, Advent, smart boy, not getting too aggressive by himself. Now, this round is proven to be a little bit of a massacre, although TYLOO still do have some fight in them. It's only for 1 kill as of yet, and it looks like in the end, it will remain that way with ViCi coming through on 4, and it is 6-1. Lots of weapons saved over, as I said, gets their economy that little bit healthier and happier. And for TYLOO, I mean, it's not that scary yet. I think 7-1, 8-1 is where I draw the line, and they have to start getting on the board pretty consistently at that point. They can even afford to lose this round before I start to sweat. And they've called a tactical timeout, which again might be the second time in TYLOO's history that they've done. And jokes aside, we do very rarely see them call tactical timeouts. So evidently you're seeing the pressure that ViCi are applying already starting to get to them and cause some cracks to come through. And I think that they've been quite smart in the way they've approached it. They've staved off the mid control by TYLOO and the aggressive plays. Then they've gone for super passive and then late round aggression with 40 seconds on the clock, which caught TYLOO off guard. And then even when TYLOO go to their typical A takes, there's been no success there. And they are having to go to the B plan at the very least.
Oh, look at the CT side aggression. Feeling confident, trying to play off the back of it. With no early success. They're not going to overface here. So allowing the T's to eventually take control of middle. Nice start from Attacker. A little bit close for comfort. And kind of surprised there isn't a trade from Advent. He was just hanging around, but didn't take the risk. Didn't go for the peak. Now they're a man down. He's had a decent start to this game, to be fair, and spots a man in the Palace. So they have information of players around Connector and Palace that would suggest that this is going to be a hit towards the A site, but it seems like they're not committed just yet. And in fact, Dan King's just patiently waiting for any further aggression to come out. We're going to see the deep smoke thrown over to the Connector as well, which seems like a ploy to potentially allow them to lurk through the smoke into jungle. Now, that'd be a bit of an interesting play, but it seems to be the one they're making. Attacker leading the charge. Look how much ground he's just gathered up through this sort of weird double smoke. Nice shot from Advent, though. That's somebody gone. However, will they expect him here? They will. Advent's found that kill as well. Turning this into a 3v3 situation. The in-game leader, the only one remaining on the site as the rotation comes in from CT. 25 seconds for TYLOO to make some sort of move, and Kaze's already picked off another. Dropping the bomb around the ramp. Summer walks with his gun not out and slowly has 15 seconds and 19 HP to try and kill off 2 players. It's not happening. Jam Young closes. ViCi 7-1.
Well, what was the logic there for TYLOO? I have to say, some of those peaks didn't quite make sense. I mean, you leave Advent into a position where he's able to take a double kill. Well, that's never fantastic. I mean, this man is the in-game leader, as you said. He's not the one we typically expect to do all of the damage, and he's up there 8 for 4, one of the best starts we've seen for him, let alone the fact that Jam Young's also got the ball rolling. Things are starting to get a little bit scary, aren't they, Tom?
Do you know what'd be really funny?
What's that?
Is firstly, so you and Blair would be correct because we forced Blair to predict for ViCi, but also then Dinko would have to predict Tiger to beat TYLOO tomorrow.
That's very true.
And then even crazier would be if TYLOO don't even make the final. I think that would be mental. And would bring a team very, very close to them. They're getting dominated. Even in their pistol rounds, we've not seen anything, which for TYLOO is relatively unusual. Like, we expect them to have these sort of crazy moments. Of course, for both these teams, we've had a couple of elimination, or we had an elimination match earlier in the day. This is not one of them. So both of these teams are still within the upper bracket and a chance to go right through into the final. Which, it would be in true ViCi fashion if they won this game and then lost the final to TYLOO instead. Or if they lost to Tiger, that would also be quite funny. But never mind. These are all scenarios that don't really matter right now. Summer, okay, I might have jinxed them here. I said that they weren't doing too much with the pistols. They found 2 kills off the D. Zoking should have a free kill. No! No! I'm sorry, please. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it! ViCi, I apologize. Oh, I'm so
Thanks
sorry.
a lot, Tom. Thanks a lot, Tom, you dick. Get to go and curse us. Myself and Blair so close to getting our prediction right. And you've got to come through with the caster's curse.
I can't believe that's happened, but they were in a 3v5. Oh.
We're all allowed to make mistakes. We've all made mistakes in the past. It's okay.
Oh, I can't believe how clean that was. That was a 3v5.
So to any ViCi fans out there that are disappointed that their team lost that round, at TomBiz with 2 Zs on Twitter, go and let him know how you feel.
Make sure you follow me first, and then any hate that you direct to my
I know, if you're
direction,
already following him, make sure you unfollow him. And, well, first,
yeah, so that's at
tweet him and then
Mitchman, at Mitchman. Also report him as well. No, if you're a TYLOO fan, though, pay up.
You may PayPal TomBiz at yahoo.com.
It's not far off. That's almost the correct email address. Oh, Blair's forgotten all about what I said. He's unhappy that you said Yahoo instead of Yahoo.
Oh, Yahoo. Yeah, just make sure to follow Tom on MySpace. He's very
if you're
active
Irish,
there.
come meet me in Lidl. I still can't get over Lidl. That's just as bad. Lidl.
It's how you pronounce it. It's what it's called.
You guys are weird.
It's what it's actually called.
Yeah, but everybody knows that what the English do is they take words and they make them better.
How do you say croissant? You say croissant.
Croissant.
You're supposed to pronounce it properly, not like croissant. And so you say Lidl, because that's what it. You ever listen to the ads on the radio and the television and stuff?
I'm gonna go ahead and say we probably have different ads.
Yeah,
I don't think the Irish ads would sell too well.
Come down Lidl, yeah. Get your two oranges for $5, yeah, in Lidl.
This
a pretty bad deal.
Is abuse in the workplace. I would never do an Irish accent. Actually, I'm part Irish. I'm allowed to. Nonetheless, 7-2, 1/8 Irish still counts. It is Kaze low on HP. Well, we've just seen a TYLOO round. That's all it can really be called. Are they going to capitalize off it though? They're still quite far behind. Like, we sort of joke about the jinx, but is this a turning point? Zoking, 2 HP for Summer. Heartbreaking. Advent should get at least the trade. Will he get the second? No, he won't. A similar circumstance, and now Orman has to get his little legs to carry him in towards that CT spot. Smoke going to be thrown over. Chance to get the bomb down. And an after plant position with already control over short. It's going to be relatively difficult for ViCi to get back into this one.
Well, with that death, I don't think they're even going to go for this. Saving's pretty much all they can do. And for TYLOO, this is the lifeline they needed. They've been cast back into the game. Through sheer luck, the buyback is being given for free. That's a Dota thing, Tom. Do you know that?
Hmm?
Buyback. It's in Dota.
Oh. I don't really understand the concept of it, but...
It's like... So, have you ever played League or Dota?
No.
No, okay. So, when you die, the longer... I know basically nothing, but the guy I used to cast with LPL caster
The
now.
longer you're... The longer into the game, the more expensive it is?
I think it's the further into the game, the longer it takes you to respawn, or the more times you die. I think it might be the more times you die. Pretty sure it is. Because when I played with him, I died a lot. And very early in the game, I had very long respawns. So basically, like, if you're gonna... I don't know exactly how it works, but let's say in Counter-Strike terms, if you die, you can spend... Rather than wait till the next round, let's say, you can spend $8,000 and respawn right away. And,
okay.
So, like, you can get back in the fight sooner.
Sounds awful. I'm going to continue watching Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I would.
Kaze, he got an initial trade. No idea how Omens just won that duel with the USP, but we'll take it. Gives them a chance to maybe get some revenge, but Attacker and Summer combine. Danking doesn't even need to use his AWP. He's trying to use the Deeg instead. Interesting position of the bomb. They've decided to let it hang out and spawn for a little bit, chill out on its own. And because of that, Jam Young's about to be a very confused individual. He's going to go, oh no, wait, I thought the Danking would... Yeah, there you go. He's like, okay, they've got the A site. They wouldn't be silly enough to leave the bomb behind, though, because that would be a ridiculous thing to do at a professional level against your biggest rival within the whole Asian scene. So they must be here. And then he walks through the site with all the bodies along the floor. There's absolutely nobody there. Now, the funny thing is the T's also don't know where Jam Young is. So they've just thrown in a flashbang in an attempt to retrieve the bomb, thinking he's on it. But in fact, he's wondering where on earth they went. Although it seems like Jam Young might have just come to the realization that his opponents are idiots and they probably left the bomb behind. So now he has to try and work out which direction they've decided to go. And because of this, instead of an afterplant on the A site, it's actually going to be an afterplant on the B site. So TYLOO, if anything, have kind of ended up in a better situation, and Jam Young's exactly where he would have been, but on the other side of the map.
And he's lagging it. Makes sense, right? Right call. Save over the AWP, 1v2. Not a lot of money. Certainly not for the AWP, so... Why ever not?
I really want them to get punished more often. It's like when they almost lost that 1v4 because they did the same thing of leaving the bomb behind. And then it was like Attacker clutched out in the 1v1 on low HP. It's like, I want them to lose these rounds because there's a very, very small, very, very, very small part of me that thinks they might learn. And, but if you never get punished for anything, it's just sort of like, haha, we left the bomb behind and went in the other direction. He must have been so confused. It's like, no, you could have just won the round already. You just used up a lot of valuable time, seconds we won't get back.
Yeah, TYLOO, I don't think they would learn, Tom. As you said, very small part of you, but I'm surprised you're holding on to any hope at this stage. Don't know why you do that to yourself.
Me too. Yeah, I still predict them to win every time. And to be fair, they normally do.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the ViCi camp with Blah. It's the cool camp.
Also known as the loony bin.
The two men have been driven completely insane. There's a nice opening slowly. I mean, nothing special about it. He's just walked out quite quickly, actually, ironically, and found the kill. Alman, able to make somebody say, ow, man, what the hell? And now it's down to the 4v4. CT's boxed off from each other. Those smokes keeping any kind of support for Zoking completely out of the question. And slowly he's watching this position. As soon as this smoke fades, Zoking needs to move. And he actually got a headshot there. That was really nicely done, considering he could barely see him. I don't know how he's reacted that quickly. But the headshot wasn't good enough for the kill, because unfortunately, AK versus M4, well, only one headshot's going to insta-kill. And it ain't the M4.
See, I've got to imagine at this point that Zoking must play with a claw grip, because otherwise he would just throw his mouse repeatedly into the wall. The sheer velocity of the way he swings his arm. Either way, we're into a clutch situation. A 3 versus 4 retake being attempted. Attacker is already going to pick off one, slowly in a good position. And that looked very easy indeed. It's weird to think that moments ago we were looking at, what, a 7-1 scoreline? Yep. And then some idiot made a comment about how they don't lose any rounds to pistols this time. And, wow, since then it's been 4 rounds in a row for TYLOO. Screw that guy.
Yeah, I know. Screw that bald, toxic bald. That's what I call him.
That's a good nickname. I wonder where you got that from. Toxic
bald.
I hope that guy's still watching. I mean, he knows that name is caught on.
We should have that under your name instead of it saying Tombiz down below. It should just say Toxic Bald.
Or maybe as my name, and then it says Toxic Bald Tombiz. There you go. It all fits. You go. That won't be quite as good as the always muted screen that was created by PGR. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate that.
That even came up on the day you weren't here, by the way.
Oh, really? Fantastic.
Yeah, it was shown off.
When I look at TYLOO though in this round, they never lose to pistols. They cannot physically lose this round. This will be an easy 6-7. Now let's see what happens. It's only you that can curse it, Toxic Bald. Jam Young, he doesn't even get a kill. Yeah. God damn it.
You're trying to curse it so it doesn't work. I learned that with Jason. There was a round, I think it was during the NA Road to Rio, where he said something along the lines of like, there's no possible way that Mihu wins this. It was like a 1v4. Or was it? Or maybe it was Furia. And they just won it straight away. And so the next round, he said it sarcastically, and then they won it again, and he just realized that he should stop trying. 7-6, though. A 5-round streak for TYLOO after what was a fantastic start to this map. ViCi have started to fall off. Oh, wow. More literally in this case, because Jam Young has just fallen off the angle. He was meant to be boosted up so he could have the early peek. Oh, the leg shot connected by Danking. He's going for the wallbangs now. He knows that there's no real escape from this angle, and Jam Young, balls of steel to hold the angle there. Oh, it's a tag still connected onto him. A secondary AWP pulled up. Someone we expect quite a lot from on this ViCi roster. Well, for now, he's going to slow things down a little bit. Go back on a retrieval mission for the bomb. Actually, it seems like they're going to dedicate themselves fully to this B site.
It does. They're starting to group up. Now, luckily, Alman has dropped back a little bit, and he's got his M4 there to play with. So, immediate op shot into the M4. The triple op setup, not something that you'll see every single day, but obviously they've just retrieved the one from the corpse of the TYLOO player. Smoke down. They're going to peek out wide, and that's a nice shot by Alman. He sees another, just grabs the info and falls back. Quick tap with the M4, and he's cleaning them up. The rotate's already underway. Molly down to force him out of position, but Jam Young's here to provide some cover and fire. And although Alman's caught in midair, it ain't quite Clay Pigeons shooting for summer as Zoking comes through and finds another 8-6. ViCi keeping themselves alive here on Mirage. The map pick of TYLOO, and it was a 7-1 lead, but at this point TYLOO, well, they've got the foundations built in what looked like it was going to be quick shifting sands.
Oh, there were so many things that could have gone wrong there. He could have got wallbanged, and also there was a moment where I think it was Ormond jumps across, and I was just thinking he's going to shoot him in the back. He's going to shoot him in the back. Nice hold in the end. They win the half, which was definitely deserved after the start that they had. Obviously, TYLOO, even with 6, they've managed to get themselves right back into this map. But they'd like to finish it on a high, I'm sure. Again, we see this sort of default setup from them, which almost involves pretty much every single player getting aggressive. I think Attacker, if we're talking about players this tournament, has probably been their most consistent. Had some really solid performances for TYLOO and brought them back in rounds that I think it's safe to say they didn't necessarily deserve. Got the opener here and a relatively clean as well. And not lost too much HP. They're going to go wrapping back around to entry into this A side, and that's where they've had a lot of their success. Now, Kaze alongside Zoking already going to be here. I think the problem with Zoking I have is a lot of the time when they do lose this early player, he often tries to fight them back into these rounds on his own. Maybe with a ludicrous play or a wide peek. We'll see what his decision is here. Now, a lot of people have now been spotted by Kaze. Zoking's going to make sure he clears out Connector before going for any sort of reface. Flashbang's going to go over the top, which will eventually force him back. It's looking like they're setting up for a retake already, but Zoking does look to try and probe around the angle a little bit. He wants to try and get in on this round. He's not denying the plant just yet. In fact, slowly he's going to get away with it. What's that shot from Kaze? A little bit ridiculous, but now the wraparound begins. We've already got somebody in position, but Danking's actually going to look to join him. Now, the plant's a little bit deeper than they would have liked. This means, realistically, the angle you want to hold is not from the connector, but from jungle.
Well, it doesn't look like that's going to be too much of a concern either way as to which angle they hold. It's a... Oh, maybe... Well, Alman's just come through with a quick double. Attacker, though, recovering this one for his team, and Alman's out of there. There's no time anymore. He's going to just deal the damage, but it doesn't matter. 8-7 is where we finish things. And, well, I have to say, from a 7-1 scoreline to an 8-7 half, TYLOO, well, they haven't done poorly for themselves.
Yeah, sorry, ViCi fans.
Yeah, Thomas literally ruined you. He said at 7-1, 7-1, this man said that TYLOO weren't going to win a round. And
that's not what I said. I said...
They're doing nothing with
surprisingly
the
so far, they haven't done anything with the pistols. And I was in the 3v5, and then they didn't lose a single player for the rest of that round.
He rubbed his shiny bald head, and he made it come... I don't know, are crystal balls used to make...
That was a poor choice to stop your sentence. I'll be real, but, you know...
That's true. I was describing Tom, just to be clear, not Dinko. So I was talking about it coming true. Not the other way around. Dingo's head isn't bald. Well. He's got plenty of hair. So anyways.
Good start. It's down to Attacker on the site. He's run out of bullets. He's dead, right? He's dead. He's got to be dead. He's got to be dead. Finally.
Oh my god.
Oh, so many bullets. But ViCi take another pistol round. So they've started both of these halves off as strong as humanly possible. If they were ever going to take Mirage, it seems to be the time to do it. And obviously the next map being Train, one where they have had some pretty damn good results versus TYLOO, beating them in the ESL Pro League, beating them in the previous PAL event. Those are the only couple of times they played them over the last few months, so yeah. Very good position for them to be in.
I wanted to say they're beating them on and off, but I mean, there's no off about it. It's just on. They're just beating them, full stop. Speaking of which, Dan King, he's got a scout in hand alongside somebody as they're going to look to deal a little bit of damage here on the CT side and try to slap ViCi around a little bit, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get anything done. They just back off, play behind the smokes. But they've still got 3 players here. I mean, Danking just makes the rotate to B. So he can be alone and isolated and try to make sure that these players don't get out onto the site. While the rest of his teams... Oh, he's actually rotating over to the A site. They're giving up B. It allows for the flank to come through from Alman. They've already found 1 kill with the scout. This is making me a little bit worried. But Alman, he's cleared out B completely. He's going to get into the kitchen as well. Look at that little position, though. They've realized what's going on. Slowly is already coming down short, and he's already back on the bomb side. Alman needs to go huge. He's got to get multiple, and he's only going to get one. Look at the player on short. Has to kill him. What? He's gotten away with Dan King. Where's the guy on site? Why is he not peeking? Slowly, they have no idea that he's here. Slowly, he's gone under the radar. He's been spotted. He's able for one kill, but now they know where he is. They'll take him down. He could have helped his teammates out in kitchen, Tom, and instead he just sat there and tried to make the big ninja play.
Wow. It's not gone well. There's still some moments in that round where I feel like it could slip for ViCi, and you do have to worry a little bit. That's one of those positions you just have to check, but they're going to get their 10th anyway. A Galil saved for Summer. He'll drop his Deagle, or maybe even drop his Galil. Who knows? The choices of TYLOO. Bit of an uncharacteristic quiet game from Dan King. Like, we normally don't agree with the decisions Dan King makes. The fundamentally impressive thing about Dan King, though, is he still normally ends up incredibly positive. And then, so 20 plus kills, normally half the amount of deaths. The fact that he's currently 6 and 12 is a bit of a worry for TYLOO. And we've just witnessed probably the biggest underperformance of any team at a tournament, which was Invictus being eliminated. Could TYLOO, wow, basically be about to meet Tiger a little bit earlier than a lot of us expected? They continue on this path. 10-7. Nothing really invested into this round. The Deagle has been handed over. Galil kept by Summer. And in fact, a few extra Deagles purchased up in an attempt to really do some damage here. And they've left it with just one man over on the A site initially, but the rotation will actually be here in time, Mitch. What?
Okay, well, they're at least managing to clean them up through the smoke. Summer's got 2, and it's all down to Kaze. 1 versus 1. Somebody in position. The Deagle fight ensues. No one's connecting. They're just tickling each other up. It's like a pillow fight out here, but eventually they pick the rifles. Now it's time to turn those pillows into cinder blocks, and Kaze's the one taking somebody down. Just about getting away with that round. ViCi. They raised my blood pressure by quite a bit during that one.
That headshot through his smoke was absolute BS. I know that he lined it up with the Palace, but I don't care. Like, just to get the exact timing of when he walked through is just BS. 11-7. A lot of damage done to the economy of ViCi, and well, if TYLOO were ever going to make some sort of comeback, now is the time they need to start. Not a huge amount of rounds behind, of course, and they do still have to bear in mind they've lost both pistols. And conversions. That's worth mentioning, because actually I feel like TYLOO do lose a fair few pistols, but they then win quite a lot of the second rounds. I think Hawker actually was looking up the statistics or something, and that they had like, I think it was like 27% second round after losing the first, which is it's still very high. Either way, T-side, they've still got weaponry utility and even an extra bit of cash on Kaze. The question is, can they do anything with it in this round?
Weaponry utility and tons of ability, Tom. You missed out on that one. Disappointed.
That's too cheesy and positive for my liking.
Well, as TYLOO look to defend this site, the op, that's a gorgeous skin. Moving up above to try and catch a player out on ramp. Can't get anything done for now, but Summer onto Alman is the one to open things up. Does spiral back a little bit, and Dan King, he just drops the smoke and fades away, as do some of his teammates with Connector now opened up. Another in Jungle Falls. They know Slowly's here. Whoa, they're not double peeking him 1 by 1. What? They go out and Slowly hits every single shot. It's a 1v2. Both players are low, though, and the bomb is planted for Connector. Now smoked out, but Kaze should easily be able to spray. He takes one, and now he knows the other player is not on the bomb because he hurt. Oh, this is dangerous. He's not going to go. He believes it's a fake. He believes in the heart of the cards, and it looks like it's going to pay off. Slowly's running away to save this up. They've gotten away with the round, but what a mistake by ViCi. Slowly given every opportunity there, but even still, right? They did peek him one at a time. The player in jungle in Palace fell back as the player on site swung out. But still, that was so unbelievably quick. 1, 2, 3. The spacing wasn't that bad. The fact that he gets away with all 3 of those kills is unreal.
Yeah, and unfortunate that they still didn't manage to win the round. I think the impressive thing is just Kazi knowing the lineup of exactly where the bomb is, and well, if he doesn't get the kill through the smoke, who knows where that round ends up going. Another investment coming up for TYLOO. It's not a full one. They've mostly bought SMGs other than the extra money spent up by Slowly to get a rifle, basically spending the extra cash he earned off kills in the last round. Somebody trying to lurk around the back of the smoke, and this AWP on Danking. As said, he's been quiet so far, but one hell of a time to step up. The money still bad for ViCi. They've lost 4 players in the last 2 rounds. Or, well, I suppose 8. Now, 2-man disadvantage in a round that really should go their way. At least they've managed to find a kill onto Attacker.
Well, with the kill onto Attacker, it's still a man disadvantage. As you said, it's at least some consolation for them. Moving in towards this B site, they really need to avoid this AWP of Danking, and they know he's here at this point. Shifting on forward, the exact position's unknown. They've no utility. They have to rely on the wide swings, and it's not working out for the first. No trades possible. Danking just repositioning and picking them off one at a time. Perfectly played. And Jam Young's got a 1v4. No chance whatsoever. An SMG even shutting him down and getting a nice upgrade to an AK. So a clean finish to the round, and 12-8 we go. We are getting the close series that we expected, Tom. This was an interesting play by ViCi. Now, those 2 players come out on site by themselves, and then they're left with no utility to dry push into an AWP, which is less than ideal.
Yeah, still, that's a huge time for Danking to step up, and that's the thing. I mentioned it, that he's not been having one of his better performances. As said, he's normally a man to pretty much double his deaths with kills. It's not been here this game, and there's been a few other quieter performers. Somebody also not up there. It's mainly been an Attacker, and obviously what we just saw from Slowly as well. And it seems that's not enough. In fact, I think the best way to put this: Danking, 11 kills. Somebody, 11 kills. Summer, 9 kills. Advent, 12. Just let that sink in.
Yeah. Just let it air out. I think the reality is for TYLOO, this is more of a struggle than I expected on Mirage, and I anticipate TYLOO to take Mirage, and I still think ViCi will win. So that's scary. To start this one off, at least, opening kills are going their way.
No.
Advance just rushed him down. Kaze in with one on a deagle. What's happening here? Things are spiraling. That retrieved AWP already good for a kill, and it's down to a 3 versus 2. They don't even know where the bomb... Advance just shutting them down on the AWP, and it's a 1v2 to win. Somebody, he gets the first,
Zombie.
and he's left on the Kaze 3 HP, and Alvin 61, but he doesn't know where they are. And as he moves towards this B side, eventually realizing he's on the wrong position, he has this. It's locked down. 3 HP for Kaze coming in through the apartments. He has to rush in as soon as this is tapped, and he's just going to stick it. 5 seconds on it. This would have to be a 6 spam, and it's not going his way.
No.
That was a great attempt at a round, though. Huge damage done towards the TYLOO economy. But Advent, this dude stepped it up. Oh my god. He had a Glock, and he got 3 kills.
He was the fake. Like, that's what you have to realize. That... Look at where the bomb is right now. Look at where the bomb is. It's in B apps. Like, he was the fake. This man was thrown in just so that they could get a bomb down, and he gets a kill with a Glock and then 2 slick AWP frags. I don't know. It looks like the almost daddy of Asian Counter-Strike has just finally decided to, wow, slam it down on the table. That was impressive. Much bigger than I thought it would be.
You talking about Dingo?
No, his AWP play.
Oh, right, okay. Sorry. Yeah, Dingo's quite tall. That's why I'm saying that. It was much taller than I thought.
Well, 12-9. Eastside not going to be bringing out an AWP of their own, but there will be 2 on the other side. Now, a lot of the time when somebody's having a quieter game, you'll see him pick up the AWP and it's like a different player. Just evolves into the server. It almost plays off of his aggression. Interestingly, they're going to have 2 players up around the apartments. And Danking, he always seems to get away with too much from this spot. But this time, he's missed. He's repositioned, though. They're even pre-firing where they expect him to be. And Zoking is going to take him out of the round. Orman with another entry. This is one of the quickest takes of the site we've seen from ViCi. Just dominating every single player in their path. And they've deserved their 13th round. It's slowly left remaining. He's not going to hold on to anything. And that was an absolute slaughter. And after a heavy investment into weaponry from TYLOO, this now leaves them, well, with not enough to buy. They almost have to save for 14.
Have to get the whole way. You know, I'm a bit scared, Tom, genuinely, really and truly, because I make that prediction that I think they're going to win. But if they take Mirage, I think they genuinely really are favorites to win at that point. It's not even like my hopes and my dreams. It's likelihood. Oh me, oh my. I don't think TYLOO have really... So, they're Mirage, right? They've got a 72% win rate. Their losses are Invictus, which we were all very, very surprised at. ViCi, which they played pretty much blindfolded. I think that was the map where they pushed literally everything non-stop.
Yeah, in Afterplants, but
yes.
you have to make that point. That's in Afterplants. It's not just them pushing everything on the T side.
Yes.
This is when they have the bomb down, they were pushing. Like
yeah, they were playing to lose that game. Like, they did not care. And I mean, they won the series in the end, so that was very much why. Like, the teams
it's also worth mentioning they came back against and played Invictus again yesterday when I guess when it matters, and they banged them.
It is quite perplexing, to be honest. Watching them play against lower tier teams is different, but ViCi, well, they've already garnered the respect. They've already proven that they're worthy of it, and right here, well, they're being punished for the mistakes they've made. Okay, they take down Zokin, who was low HP on the site, but surely they... Oh, God. Stop peeking them. Good God, these guys have got pistols. I know there's no time left anymore, but... Look at the damage done by TYLOO.
This is where you're like, there's no time, and just the bomb diffuses itself. It's like, ha ha ha! You started to believe.
Like, Jesus, Tom, there was a few seconds left, and they just start all swinging and looking for kills versus Deagles. Deagles, Tom. It's not like these dudes had got ops and they were like, oh, let's take the weapons down. They just sacrificed some of their economy. They might as well have walked over to that fence and just chucked it off the map and bought another AK. What was the point? And that'd be better, in fact, because then TYLOO wouldn't have gotten the money for killing them. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the one saving grace is that at least none of the weaponry was retrieved for TYLOO. But they are going to have a buy here. Somebody back on the secondary AWP, and Utility's kind of got a miss in this one. They've basically decided that they just want to get the heavy weaponry involved. They've got this setup which basically has heavy reliance on the teammates. If somebody dies, then it's going to make things very, very awkward for attacker. If attacker dies, the same vice versa. Although I think there's actually a fair point that somebody probably escaped here. Interestingly, somebody's just walked off and left attacker facing the bottom of mid. But either way, it is going to be the execution onto the A site. A minute left on the clock, so plenty of time to play with Danking. Spotted a little gap around the bottom of the smoke, although there is going to be a flashbang to leave him completely blind. 5v5 retake. Obviously, the time favors the T's. There's going to be a flash through the smoke and trades coming back and forth. Orman again having some high-impact plays in this map. And while this might be the deciding factor for TYLOO, if they're going for this, they have to go now. 20 seconds left on the clock. They do not currently have a kit, it seems. Unless there's one to be retrieved. Danking finds a kill, but the trade is back fast, and it's left all onto Jam Young to try and hold it. He's not going to be able to, and the bomb was already being stuck. It is 14-10, a little bit close for comfort. The double AWPs are saved, and now all that damage that was done to ViCi's economy previously starts to become a problem.
When you look at the spot that ViCi are in, the temptation to buy up fully here, I think, is definitely in play. If anything, I think they just go for it, don't they? At worst, you'll have one weaker weapon, and it puts you in a position where you win this one. TYLOO have got very, very limited money, as we're talking about the situation for ViCi of a 16-10 win. It's perfectly viable. That pause now coming to an end. It was a tactical by ViCi, not just to discuss the merits of buying, because I think that's something that probably took a few seconds and they'd reached a conclusion, more so to discuss what they're actually going to do. Now, Alman taking a MAC-10 in a situation like this, I'm completely fine with. If this guy is going to be the first one in, do it with a Mackie. But in fact, he's actually going to go through middle. I like this as well, though. You're leaving your MAC-10 to take some map control, maybe some fights with all the utility, and sell that extra little bit of a fake. Now, if he gets pushed back or if he gets killed, it's not the end of the world. In fact, he goes top mid, makes a bit of noise, and then starts pushing up through B. Whether this is going to be an underpass through connector play or not, I think it's presumably going to be a very late play. What are they doing on mid, Tom? They've not gone under. They're lurking top mid with a MAC-10 while the players push out on site and execute. It's working. They've got the opening kill. And now they can have a... Where is Alman going? He's now going to underpass, Tom.
Oh! Somebody runs through a Molotov. This is a very weird
Look at where
round.
Alman is!
I'm just going to ignore him and move on with the rest of the team.
What's
It's a
he doing?
3-on-3 on the site with a flank eventually coming. I don't think that flank will even be needed. Kaze in a very open position. It gives Attacker a chance, and he's going to take that chance, but falling back would be an issue. Orman actually might play a pivotal role. They're watching Grim, though, and that's going to be him dead. It doesn't matter. The remaining players are not going for this. It is going to be a 15th and a fantastic round from ViCi, as they will get to map point.
What was the point in going... so, let me just talk you through what happened there. ViCi went A. ViCi went quickly to A. Maybe a 10-second delay. Executed out with smokes, pushed the site, took the fight. Alman, during all of this, went middle, through a smoke, through a flash. Okay, he's faking out presence. I'm with it. Then went apps to underpass, back to T-spawn, back to middle, back to apps. Oh, the bomb's planted by now, don't you worry. Then to underpass, and then shift walked all the way from T-apps into underpass, into middle, and then jumped in window and made noise. What was the point in taking a minute and a half to shift walk around the T side of the map and then jumping in window? But in the first place, why was he even there? It was like he just couldn't decide. It was like someone went... Go, like they all had each other muted except for Alman. They went, Alman, go apps. And then someone else went, Alman, go mid. He's like, where do we go? That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. 15-10. ViCi on the verge of victory, now up against one last-ditch attempt at a buy here for TYLOO. They've managed to get themselves out of double op setup, and you can see here Danking, well, he's looking to get aggressive. It's his personality trait. He likes to get up in your face and really slap you around. Well, let's see if he can get it done to ViCi right here, right now with the op. They should be able to trade this, and not even that. But they hit back this time, taking the kill and putting it into a 5 versus 3 even. It's quickly spiraling into TYLOO's favor, but then gets snatched back by Advent.
Okay, that was clean from Slowly. Oh, that might be up for the challenge of cleanest FAMAS shot of the day. An award I never thought I'd need to give out, but it might be coming soon. Somebody, he's gonna push the murder hole. This guy is, he's mental. As if that's the decision he makes there. He's gone back through it as well. He just wanted that kill so badly. The FAMAS coming back to try and haunt them a little bit more. The push even coming into the player on site. Somebody is desperately trying to find an angle. The Incendiary going to try and force Advent back, clear him from the position. And it's being held, but somebody misses the shot. That's been the story of his game. Slowly now left 1v2 to keep them in the map. First kill goes his way, and he's going to get the second as well. He's going back to retrieve the AWP. He's got a kit. He's got loads of time.
I don't like Alman. This guy's crazy. I don't understand it, mate. He took a Mac-10 and played slow. Didn't even flank. I don't know what I would even call that.
On that round?
He just threw himself on the railings on that one, like impaled himself. And then in this round, his teammates taking a fight. How many bullets was that? I don't know if we can get a counter on how many shots this team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was probably like 7 bullets, and Alman still tucked away, doing nothing.
You tried to count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'm counting it roughly. I don't understand why in that instance. Where's the communication? Now, maybe it wasn't Alman's fault, but they needed to be telling each other, okay, I'm going to swing on him, so Alman knows to peek, or Alman needs to listen if he was told that and go with him. It's a 2v1 to potentially take a map off TYLOO. And if you're just going to go quiet and swing and take that fight or not support your teammate if he did ask for the help, you're mental. You deserve to lose this map then. It's just such a silly mistake. Especially considering I think Alman was half HP in the first place. It's just silly. Maybe we're seeing the panic set in a little bit and start to affect their gameplay.
Well, back to pistols they go. Surprisingly few Tech 9s and Deagles. Very different pistol rounds to what we see normally. An aggressive stance being taken by the CT side. They're going to face straight in. It's 1 kill. Attacker corrects his aim very quickly indeed. And although it's shaky, he's managed to get almost every kill. He has a fair few rounds like this throughout the series. Gets up to his 22nd. Actually slowly currently at the top of the board. And although they're both having a very good series, there's been some pretty poor underperformers. Again, still, Danking, Somebody, and Summer all have less kills than Advent. I know that for many of you who don't know too much about ViCi, but watching this saying, yeah, that sounds a little bit harsh. Imagine that Advent is like the Hunden of ViCi gaming. Like, not in the sense that he's watching from afar, more in the sense of his playing career, where he wasn't really the guy you expected to frag. Like, he is putting up some pretty hefty numbers for someone who is basically the mastermind of the whole operation. And, yeah, on the other side of things, Somebody, Danking, they're normally expected to be some of the stars of the show. At this point, not even close.
I'm practicing some breathing exercises, Tom. Trying to find inner peace. Well, look at this. The inner flank comes in slowly, trying to get towards the back of apartments. Now he's managed to... Oh, he's managed to get himself wrecked. Alman's continuing to fight. This guy's a loony tune, but looks like he's going to be able to make it away. It's all right. It's okay. We're grounded back in reality. Actually, he was going to get an M4 to go back and take the fight in apartments some more. Smokes it off and pulls away. Okay, I'm all right with that. Flash, a little bit late coming over. Allows Zokin to get taken down by the op. Danking, he's in the open. He's exposed to ramp. He's able to find another kill. No trades. No one pushing with him. No smokes. No flashes. Nothing's happening. Bomb down in the open. This is absolutely crazy gameplay by ViCi. They think there's only one player left alive or something because they've forgotten about Somebody who was left open to push on short. And so Jam Young now 1v2. Not a great angle to hold with the op. Jam Young luckily only good for 1. I don't understand what's happened in that round either, Tom. And from a 2v1, in which all they needed to do was swing together to 15-13, having to take an eco. ViCi, you're breaking my goddamn heart.
I couldn't if I tried. Well, TYLOO, they are the true heartbreakers. As Tayo Cruz once said, they're only gonna break your heart.
God damn it.
Everybody loves the Tayo Cruz reference. What happened to him? Never mind. We're moving on. It's pistols. This time they've gone for a couple of deeks. Advent's got the Glock out, and you know, the last time he managed to get a triple kill. Somebody has just wrecked Jamyoung through smoke. I don't know if somebody stepped or maybe breathed a little bit too heavy, but he was waiting and watching. If he comes alive right at the depths, this would be somewhat heartbreaking for ViCi. As said, this was a map we didn't really expect them to win, but one that they definitely should now that they've managed to get to this position. If they win both pistols and still lose, that's a pretty poor showing from them, if anything, especially with the lead, the advantage they had, even in multiple individual rounds. Gonna try and make a play towards... Oh, I was gonna say short, but it seems like it's gonna be the connector instead. Zoking will be lost. Attacker has spotted a man running through and looks to try and follow. In fact, he's going to drop the bomb in the open, and they've spotted this attempted sneaky play. They're all just going individually. This makes it all too easy for Attacker to clean up, and he's just using this as a farming exercise. And now it's just a race to see who will get that final kill. 15-14, a last-ditch effort for ViCi to close out this map. Otherwise, we are heading to overtime.
Well, we're gonna do one more at least, and for ViCi, they really are just stamping on my heart at this point. I mean, not that anything since that 2v1 has been particularly awful, but the 2v1 in itself was, yeah. Also the round where Advent found a 3k with a Glock and they didn't win it after, I think, a 3v1 afterwards, which was unfortunate. Advent did overface with the AWP in that instance, but the confidence was flowing. Can't blame him too much. One last attempt, one final opportunity, and it does start with, as Attacker only got a deagle. No, surely not. They must have a rifle there for him, just slightly out of reach on the floor.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that he might have just dropped one over.
There you go, yeah. I was thinking there's absolutely no way that Dan King's not dropping him or anything. It's like, no, Attacker, you're a deagle player, bro. I believe in you.
Stop stealing my frags.
I want a top frag, bro. I mean, with 4.4k not dropping your teammate, that would basically be abuse. You'd just be so rude.
A real slap in the face. 15-14. Well, ViCi have pretty much had this in the bag for quite a while, but they've given that chance. We were looking at, what, a 15-10, I want to say? A 15-10? I'm going 15-10. And it has now been 4 rounds in a row for TYLOO. Again, we're going to see this aggressive stance. This is something that should be expected for the T side. This is something that they attempt many a time. They may even have a third man in the form of Danking. I think he's fairly far aggressive peeking into the connector. But here come the grenades, the smokes. They need to control this. A Molotov pulled out by Summer. Interesting decision. Attacker's going to go running through, and they've just slaughtered them. I don't know how they've managed to make this look so clean, but it's left on to Jamyoung. The first one's easy. The remaining 4, not going to be such an easy task. 15-15, TYLOO. They claim 5 rounds in a row to take this one to overtime on their map choice. Almost showing a classic sort of TYLOO performance.
It should have been about as clean as it gets with ViCi taking it 16-12, but we've ended up at this point, Tom, and I can't say I'm happy about it. For me, TYLOO should win this series now. After that mistake, I feel like mentally it's very difficult to overcome when you end up at an overtime and you know that there were multiple mistakes that cost you that match, or that map point. As we said, Advent over peaking with that up. 2v1 not swinging together amongst many others. And for ViCi, now they look to win out in overtime. It's going to be 3 rounds on the T side that they play out. They need to get as many as they can. I'm looking at 2 at a minimum. And oh, that's a nice return by Kaze. Okay. Lose an opening duel, but pull it right back. Deep Molly stopping the... Oh, there's no falling back for TYLOO. They're going out. They're swinging. The confidence is in full effect. But as of yet, there's no distinct advantage for them. And if they smoke off CT, I think somebody's completely knocked out of this round. They've got to smoke it soon. And they're really playing with... Oh, look at the flank. Look at the flank from Slowly. He's coming behind on ramp. And even though Alman finds that kill slowly, he's going to drop the bomb. There it is on site. It's an easy kill if ever he's seen when he's going to go for the first up above. Spray through the smoke, but he doesn't get the kill and runs into a headshot. Never mind, the flank doesn't net quite as much as it could have.
Yeah, the thing that's quite curious about that is, considering they know that flank is coming, the remaining 2 players did not play passive at all. I do wonder if, like, sometimes just because of, like, winning too much, they just, like, set themselves different challenges of, hey, let's play this round without any communication. Because it just seemed like the guy in CT, if he just falls back there and just waits, he can try and do something extra. Sure, like, I think it was attacker around connector. I can kind of forgive that because the player walked through a smoke. Like, I don't expect players to be consistently watching smokes. Well, unless they're playing against somebody, in which case they always should. But yeah, again, I think if you have a flank like that coming, you need to play around it rather than just sort of playing your normal game and hoping he has the same impact at the same time. Nonetheless, well, it seems like TYLOO enjoy playing from a deficit. That's what they've done for the majority of this game, going 7-1 down initially. The second they came close to bringing it back, they then lost again. And then the second pistol went the way of ViCi. They've got everything in their favor. These guys' headphones turned off at this point, I'm convinced. I'm pretty sure Zoking ran past him at full pace. Danking gives this a damn good attempt. And somehow, even after all of the trades that have just come back in, it's TYLOO with an advantage. Kaze having to try and clutch this out. 45 seconds. He's going to go for the aggressive peek. There will be a player waiting on the other side. It's Summer just watching the angle. A nice shot for the first, but he doesn't expect Attacker to just be rounding that corner. 16-16. Scoreline equalized once again. And of course, that means both teams will have a bye for the final round.
Which is something that should really be standard, but, you know, isn't.
Yes.
Especially with the CT side, and they've got FAMAS, 2 FAMAS coming into this one, alongside next to no utility on Dan King and Summer, because overtime. Welcome. I think this system should be called extra time instead of overtime. Like, to me, overtime is 16K, buy whatever you want, go ham. Extra time is... What's extra time?
I hope they bring in golden goal.
Golden goal. It's actually you just play Dust 2 and you have to kick the ball into a goal.
I think it's just a 1v1 with Deagles. A first person near the headshot wins.
And you just nominate someone on your team?
Yeah.
Oh,
imagine like Viva versus like Danking or something. That'd be beast. I'd watch that. Be over very quickly, but either way, it is going to be the opener coming up for the T side. Danking looking to try and hold on to the cross. Now, there isn't much utility remaining for the CT side to try and make the retake work, so they're going to need a pick. Kaze is homed in on the angle. He won't miss that one with a slow peek coming in on the other side. AWP retrieved by Summer. We've seen him have some pretty tasty shots with it, but it won't be this time. He meets the same fate, and the cursed AWP seems to continue. Attacker now going to wait on exactly the same angle and expect a different result. He manages to kill off Jam Young, but Kaze's just finished the majority of the team. They'll take an advantage on the T side going into the second half of this overtime. Of course, 19 becomes the magic number. And TYLOO, well, they need all 3 if they're going to win it in this first overtime.
At least that's something to work with, right? Some form of positivity for them. Over on the ViCi side, that is. Not for TYLOO. They won't be terribly happy. But the fact that they do need all 3... At least there can be bumps in the road for ViCi and they can still make it And they can still make up for what they did earlier. Kaze. There's the opening shot. Gorgeous onto slowly. That opens up middle, and more importantly, it takes away a lot of space that TYLOO were trying to create by getting that top mid control. They've, of course, got Attacker moving through underpass. And with his position being what it is, you know, he had to be a little bit scared. Normally, if he was a human being coming up through underpass because they don't have short or window presence. But he wasn't. He just walked up because he's Attacker. If you know anything about him, he doesn't care. And he's going to go, through the murder hole. And of course, he's completely caught them off guard because why the hell would he be there at that point? But it worked out for the CT side at least. They've gotten the kill. That's just, if you just watch Attacker in that instance, the confidence that he has to shift walk up connector through jungle into CT. Oh my god. Alman Jamyo shutting it down. This is, I mean, can we get the violins out? They're starting to play the sad song. It's like when the Titanic was sinking. This TYLOO, they're looking like they are going to lose Mirage. And Tom, we've been here before. We've passed this destination. We've seen this iceberg on the horizon. But thanks to global warming, it melted right in front of us.
Do you know what I feel like? I feel like the guys on TYLOO are the sort of people who have the level of confidence to like walk up to like Angelina Jolie and just be like, "Hey, I'm Attacker." Of course, you already know that. And it's just like, I don't understand where this level of confidence seems to come from. But I wish I had it. I think I would. Well, I would have either been beaten up multiple times or be far more successful than I already am. One of the two. Who knows?
Have you seen like? Oh, I'm trying to think here. Never mind. We'll talk about it in a sec. Because TYLOO were pushing. This could be the end of it. It's 18-16. Zoking's got the opening, and ViCi, well, they're looking to just hold on tight to this. I like the two players on site. The flash onto Advent didn't matter because Zoking provides cover, but slowly he comes in with a quick double. The off is spotted walking on through the triple. How did all those bullets miss? How? He was on him. He sprayed on him. That's madness. It's, oh, Danking. Well, he's fallen short just like TYLOO have in general. He's got a 1v3 to win, sees the shadow, but he can't react quick enough. ViCi have done it. They've taken Mirage, and now the chance to 2-0 TYLOO, or 2-1 them even, is there. It's looking really possible, Tom. I'm feeling unreal about that. I feel like in this situation, ViCi have got to be over the moon because they threw that map away. That was Aaron Rodgers, Hail Mary straight to the touchdown.